We know teens often feel like they're under a lot of pressures to be successful in school, extracurricular activities, at work for some, and of course pressures to look good as they're coming into their own.
And one of those pressures can lead to medical issues. We're talking about eating disorders, and they're more common than you may think.
7 Morning anchor and health reporter Kirsten O'Connor standing by now to ask a doctor how you can recognize the signs and help your kids.
Ask a Doctor is sponsored by Conviva Primary Care for Seniors.
According to the National Eating Disorder Association, 20 million women and 10 million men suffer from an eating disorder at some time in their life. And for many, that starts in the teenage years. So joining us this morning is Dr. Elizabeth Carreño Rijo, an adolescent medicine physician at Arnold Palmer Hospital, to talk about the recent rise that you've been seeing during the pandemic. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the numbers that you're seeing. I know you mentioned to me that there have been increasing numbers of teenagers who are suffering from eating disorders.
Yes, that is correct. We have seen over the last year that at least when before we used to have 5 admissions at the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital, this year when I joined Orlando Health, it has been at least 60 when we stopped counting in September last year. So we might have certain ideas of why this could be happening. We think that teenagers, because as you know, these eating disorders start when they are maybe 10 to 12 and a half being kind of the mean age when we see it happening, is the time when they present to me. But why do they present to clinic or why do they present to the hospital? Usually they are kind of found out when they come to their pediatrician's office and they have noticed that they have been having a big shift in their weight and their growth trajectory when they go to see their usual pediatrician for a primary care visit. The situation is that having been away or separated from the peers is something that affects these teens so much. And also the changes in their schedules, the changes in not being able to participate in sports, the being isolated, has affected how these illnesses have come to happen this past year.
And I know one maybe common misconception nowadays about eating disorders is that it's all about control, and maybe a teenager is feeling a lack of control, but you were telling me that that's kind of a simplistic way of thinking about it.
Correct. So we know that it might have a little bit of, yes, control might be something that they want to have, but there are many other things like their temperament, their, I would say, type of personality and people who are perfectionistic, and then also having set shifting difficulties. All of these teenagers have that in common. Being perfectionistic being one of them, they are fixated with what is the ideal, what is the perfect way to look, and how do I achieve that? And now they are fixated with this idea that they see in the media. So our society has kind of influence the way we perceive how a woman should look or how a man should look. They have to be lean and muscular. Women have to be always looking their best and have a distinct physique. If you're not that, then there's something wrong with you. And teenagers internalize all of these things. And we usually tend to tell people, you didn't create this illness. This is an illness just like if you developed hypertension or a cancer. You didn't choose it, you didn't ask for it, but now you have the genetics, you have the environment, and you have the predisposition kind of because of your temperament and your personality to develop these illnesses. And on top of that, many changes of what is happening in the last year for everybody in the world, but more so for teenagers who are kind of developing.
And you said the number one thing you hear from parents is that they didn't know that this was happening and they're blaming themselves. And of course, parents are going to think back on every little thing that they've said to their child. What are some good things to say to your children as they're growing up in these formative years to help them prevent eating disorders?
So I always talk about why don't we focus on what is good about your teen and their internal characteristics, not what is outside. What can they do? What are they good at? What do you excel at? Tell me more about what is something that comes from you and rather than that is outside of you. And focusing on that might help, but also let's talk less about people's appearances. Let's critique less how other people might look and talk less about what is just external to them. That's all we see, and it's very difficult to do, but we need to try to do that. And then if we sit with our kids to, let's say, watch TV and watch even cartoons sometimes, let's be critical about how this person looks and is unrealistic. Is it realistic to think that is in the norm, that this appearance that is extremely thin is really something achievable. And then also talk about our differences. We are all different. We have different genetics and different body types, but everybody can be healthy at their range. And we need to be focusing on that. And physical activity is a great way to kind of have joy in your body, but always be mindful that you can be healthy at any weight. We don't want to focus on the numbers, that's number one. We want to focus on what can you do and are you healthy? And your physicians might tell you what that is, but we don't want you to focus on just what is the BMI, because BMI can be different for you and for me, even if we are the same height. And that's kind of a way to frame it in a positive way so that they don't just focus on what is wrong with me and what do I need to change.
There's a lot to unpack, and I
Yes.
really appreciate you bringing up this important topic for us. For this segment, we'll have
Yes.
more on clickorlando.com. Thank you so much, and
Excellent.
I'll send it back to the ladies at the desk.